Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And for this video what we're doing, we're going to be starting the mock-up of campsites and quiet places. The subject of this build is the 1979 Jeep Honcho truck that was platformed off from the J10. And what I'm doing here is one more look at the parts. I'm going to be checking all the trees, make sure they're here, making sure that tinted glass is still there. I'm going to go through and make sure that the interior of the truck that I bought from eBay is ready to be put in. I'm going to take a look through the box, make sure all the loose parts that have fallen off the tree are still there. And then after the intro, we'll continue with the mock-up. I'm giving the body a bit of an inspection, trying to feel it and look it over for any imperfections. One of the things that I'm noticing first right out of the gate is the fact that the panel lines seem a little bit shallow to me. So we're going to have to go over those and deepen them out a little bit. I'm going to remove the hood, see how that looks, see what the engine bay looks like inside there. It's stuck a little bit, but I was able to get it off there. One thing of note is that the body is a bit shiny. I'm not sure what they used in the mold back when it was molded, but for me it's going to have to be sanded down, and we'll go ahead and clean it up in the washing process. As I'm getting ready to clip off the frame for the mock-up and get things kind of set into place, I noted that there was some branding marks under the cross member and the skid plate for the transfer case. We're going to have to sand that smooth as well. Here we go with the first test fit. Fit right in there smooth, just like it was made to be there. I'm pretty happy with that. I found that Gorilla mounting putty works very well for me in my mock-ups. I know a lot of people use white glue. I just started with this and I'm happy with it. I find it has decent holding power. It also removes nicely without harming any parts, and it washes off pretty decent during the washing process. I've brought out both the front and rear axles. I have them ready to go for the first part of the mock-up. When I'm trying to cut it apart, sometimes the putty will stick together. It presents a tiny challenge, nothing too bad. It's pretty simple to work with. I'm really beginning to like this. Here the frame is really starting to look like an undercarriage, like it belongs under this truck. My intention is for this truck to look mostly box stock, or what some people refer to as box stock plus. However, I'm considering eliminating that spare tire. It doesn't look quite how I want it to, and add my own underneath there. I'm still a little undecided. So what we're doing here is we're clipping off the transfer case, the engine halves, and some other engine components off of the trees. I'm going to check the transfer case for its orientation to make sure I've got that put together correctly, as well as the engine itself. Everything will be glued up with Tamiya, and I've got a paint ordered from MCW that would be Chrysler Engine Teal. I'm unclear if I'm saying that correctly, but based off from the photos that I looked at for the reference, this should be that color that Dodge used back in the day. After gluing up the transfer case, I wanted to make another check to make sure everything was in its proper orientation. We're also going to be gluing up the intake on the engine top here. The valve covers are going to be next. They're going to need a little bit of coaxing by way of sanding with the file there, as you can see, and then they sit right in there perfect. And finally, we're going to be using some of that Tamiya extra thin quickset, just so that we can keep this mock-up moving. And here we are, we're going to add some putty to those mounting points for the engine and the transfer case and move this right along. And there we go. I'm looking it over, and that engine's going to look great in a semi-gloss black frame with maybe a little bit of weathering. I haven't decided yet. I've already mentioned the reason for the interior being different a couple of times, but the reason the interior is white is because it was missing. When I bought this kit back when I was a kid, I didn't realize that. I didn't look through the box, I just bought it. So when I went to build it, I realized it didn't have an interior. So I ordered this one off from eBay for my current kit, and it fits great and it completes this truck. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing with the truck bed is I'm going to be putting some camping gear in the back of it because it is the themed build of campsites and quiet places. I'm also looking for some opinions. Should I do the cap that comes with the truck or keep the cap off? Also, I plan on this being one of my 4 seasons builds. It's probably going to take in spring and summer because it's going to be such an involved project. Do you think that this should be a mostly box stock build or a more detailed build? We're almost ready for a test fit, making sure that the frame and the body and the interior all fit together and work together for this truck. I'm rolling out and layering some of that mounting putty on the frame rails in strands. That way there's a little bit more of a mounting surface for the body to attach to on the frame rails. I feel like for the first test fit, everything fits together pretty well. The axles look centered to me, which means the wheels should look good in the wheel wells with the tires mounted to them. And hopefully this truck will have a good stance. You will see me put it on some jack stands for photos, and I think overall it looks pretty good for the progress that we have into it so far. So as we come to the close of this mock-up video, I just want to remind everyone that there is a slideshow at the end. You want to stay and watch that. I want to thank everyone who's followed along, and I appreciate it. And until we see each other again, everyone out there be safe, everyone be blessed, and thank you for watching.